The wind howled through the valley, a wild, restless beast that seemed to whisper forgotten secrets. In the small village of Aldwood, the sky grew heavy, darkening with storm clouds that painted the heavens a bruise-black shade of purple. Rain began to pour, smattering against the cobblestone streets in quick, furious bursts. The villagers, fearing the storm's fury, scrambled to safety, rushing indoors to escape the wrath of the heavens. But not Liam. He stood alone, his small lantern held tightly to his chest, unwavering in the chaos. It was no ordinary lantern. Tiny, fragile, barely larger than a teacup, its flame flickered like a dying ember in the wild wind. The light seemed so faint, almost invisible, compared to the powerful torches carried by the village watchmen or the shining lamps hanging proudly from the cottage porches. For as long as Liam could remember, his lantern had been the subject of scorn. "Why waste your time with that pitiful thing?" sneered Owen, his voice as rough and strong as the oak trees he worked with. "It's so dim, it can't even cast a shadow." "Here comes Liam," giggled Elise, the baker's daughter, trudging along with his little flicker. "What's the use?" But Liam? He never let go of that lantern. Not when the wind howled to snuff it out. Not when the flame faltered, barely glowing. And certainly not when others mocked him. He didn't know why he held on to it so tightly, why this small, seemingly insignificant light meant so much to him, but it was his, and that was enough. He believed in its glow, no matter how tiny it seemed. It was a beacon in the dark, a promise that even the smallest light had worth. Then, one evening, as the storm above swelled into a furious, raging beast, disaster struck. A deafening crack split the sky, lightning ripped through the air, a jagged line of fire that shattered the night. It struck the great pine tree that stood as the village's sentinel, splitting it in two with the force of a thunderclap. The burning branches tumbled to the earth, crashing into the village's main gate, creating a wall of flame that blocked every escape. Houses trembled in the face of the storm's fury. The torrential rain snuffed out every other light, the torches, the lamps, the candles all vanished in an instant. And then darkness. Aldwood was swallowed by it. Silence fell, except for the howling winds and the pounding rain. Fear gripped the villagers, and panic spread like wildfire through the streets. "We're trapped!" someone screamed. "There's no light. We can't escape." The cries echoed, deafening against the storm's roar. But amidst the chaos, amidst the terror, there stood one figure. Liam. His small lantern, flickering weakly but defiantly, was the only light in the entire village. It was just a flicker, yes. But it was enough. And in that moment, the villagers realized something they had never seen before. That sometimes, even the smallest light can shine the brightest in the darkest times. That one small, steady flame could lead the way.